So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can blow up your channel and business in any educational niche by posting videos that take just 1 hour to make. So before you say, this won't work for me, this won't work for my niche, I'm going to show you a real example of this happening, which isn't this video, although this video will have been made within 1 hour. And I'm going to talk you through what the timings might look like for that hour. And then I'm also going to talk about the pros and cons of this approach and whether this is actually the right strategy for your channel. So the example of this is from Andrew. Now, Andrew is a live sound engineer. So he makes videos about live sound engineering and how to build a career in that space. And his channel is called Offshore Audio. And the most recent video on that channel at the time of this recording is called I Mixed 27 Festivals This Year. Here's What I Learned. And it has 25,000 views in 2 weeks. Now, that's pretty impressive. And you can certainly build a business with those kind of views, especially from a specific audience. And luckily, because Andrew is a student in my program, I got some behind the scenes of what Andrew's process was for filming this video. And he posted in the community this. So Andrew said, "My return to videos is going well. I was strangely apprehensive to post this video, but I'm glad I did. It was my first video in over 2 months because of a crazy summer mixing festivals and launching my group program. I felt like it was time to return, so I just turned on the camera, wrote down 5 bullet points, and filmed 8 minutes and 37 seconds of footage. No script, no title, no thumbnail. I was worried that it was a crap video, but you know what? It's a 3 out of 10. But never mind that, it got nearly 7,000 views in the first 24 hours. That still feels like a big number to me. It's crazy that so many people watch and enjoy me just processing my thoughts and opinions after a busy summer." So that's Andrew's example. And he could have so easily not filmed that video. He could have so easily decided to spend longer on it and actually produce something potentially worse, or just not got around to filming it at all because he was procrastinating, because it felt like a big deal. He hadn't filmed in 2 months and it was just hard to get back in front of the camera. So this might not be the right strategy for you. But before we get to that, let's just talk about what that hour might look like so that you can figure out how this might actually work in your life, because you might be busy, you might not have time for that much time for making YouTube videos, but you want to get YouTube videos out there. So let's say we've actually got an hour. Let's say we're really trying to keep it to an hour for the sake of argument. So what it's going to look like is we probably want to spend 5 to 10 minutes on ideation. Normally, you'd want to spend lots more time on ideation, but the way that you can save a lot of time with ideation is just have this something going on constantly in the background. As you go about your life, you're constantly thinking of ideas and collecting ideas in some kind of database. Maybe it's in your Apple Notes, maybe it's in your Notion. That's what I do. And so you can actually afford to spend a very small amount of time on ideation because you've got a list of lots of titles for your YouTube videos. So 5 to 10 minutes on ideation. Then the next part of the process is packaging. So titles and thumbnails. Now, as we all know, titles and thumbnails are super, super important. If they don't click, they don't watch. So you don't want to mess this up and you don't want to spend like too little time on this. But in Andrew's case, what he did is he came up with a title relatively quickly in about 5 to 10 minutes. He had this idea of what he wanted to talk about, made the title, and the thumbnail was outsourced to his video editor. So his video editor also makes his thumbnails. Now we'll talk about that. So for you, if you don't have a thumbnail designer, then it's going to take a little bit longer because you don't want to spend literally just 5 to 10 minutes on your thumbnails. So if you want to make a video in an hour a week, then you're going to need to outsource your thumbnails to someone good so you can make sure that that part of the process is up to scratch. So packaging, you can spend about 10 minutes on it in this 1 hour a week scenario. Come up with the title, come up with a simple thumbnail concept, and then your thumbnail designer actually edits your thumbnail. Then we move on to scripting. So you've got to plan the video a little bit before you film it. And now you can spend around 10 to 20 minutes on this. So you can think about what you want to say, what are the actual points that you want to get across, and maybe scripting the hook in particular. That's the most important part of the video. So it's worth spending a little bit of extra time on that. But ultimately, you just get out a pen and paper or notes on your computer and just write down the things that you want to say in this video and get the thoughts out just in some kind of organized fashion. Then you've got a bit of a plan. Then you're going to leave it 30 minutes for filming, because filming is tricky. Take some time. You need to get stuff set up. You need to get into the kind of right mindset. You need to get into the filming mode. 30 minutes is enough time to make around a 10-minute video. So if you filmed for 30 minutes or maybe 20, 25 minutes with a bit of setting up, then you're going to finish with something like a 10-minute video once it's edited. Then the other parts of the process, video editing and admin and scheduling the video, all that kind of stuff around actually posting it and uploading it, you outsource that to your video editor as well. So once you're done filming, that should be pretty much the end of your 1 hour. Now, I'll just talk you through how the rest of that works. So after you film, you get the footage from your camera, from your phone, and you upload it to Google Drive. Now that's pretty much the end of it for you. So who sorts everything after this point? Well, it's going to be your video editor. So you'll need a video editor to be able to produce a video in an hour a week. Otherwise, it's just too stressful. I highly recommend that you get a video editor. If you don't have one already, it's going to be a massive bottleneck in your business and in your channel. So you need to find a video editor, and how to do that is a video for another time. But you've got your video editor. They have access to your Google Drive. So you upload the footage there. They then download it from Google Drive, and then they edit the video, and then they upload it straight to YouTube because they have access to your YouTube studio. And then they can also schedule it themselves if they have the instructions from you. And that's pretty much it. So they do all the work after you've filmed it. So in this scenario where we are trying to do a video in literally 1 hour, then maybe we're not going to have a round of feedback on the video, and we have to trust our video editor enough to be able to upload the video and then sort the title and the thumbnail and the description, and you've agreed all that stuff in advance, obviously. So they have that level of trust, and you allow them to do that. And that's pretty much how you would film it in an hour. You just come up with an idea, you finalize a title, think about the thumbnail concept a little bit, plan out the video a tiny bit, and then just film and then upload it. And that's pretty much all that you're doing, because you have a thumbnail designer and a video editor who you trust and you can rely on to do great work. And Andrew here was in that exact position. Now, he's obviously not trying to do it in just 1 hour. So he was giving you a bit of feedback on the thumbnail and also on the video edit. But otherwise, he just sat down, pressed record, filmed 8 minutes and 37 seconds of footage. And that was pretty much his entire involvement in the YouTube video. So that's how you can do this in just 1 hour. But is this actually the right strategy for you? And should you be trying to make your videos in an hour a week? Well, before we talk about the considerations and maybe the downsides, let's talk about the benefits. So the benefits are, it gets you out your head. You're forced to film quickly. You're forced to just talk to the camera and share lots of value. And that's the thing, is so many people underestimate the value that they've got in their minds if they just spoke normally, like they were explaining something to a friend or in a classroom, and they just spoke to the camera, sharing the lessons that they've learned. And that's the biggest benefit here, is forcing yourself to do it quickly means that you just have to get the information out. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. The other benefit of this is that if it means that you're actually posting on your channel once a week, you build a lot of momentum that way, and you can improve your videos over time. Actually getting videos out there just hits different. When you actually do it once a week for a considerable period of time, like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you start to build a real sense of momentum and identity as a YouTuber, as someone who makes lots of videos. And that's really, really valuable, because to build a big business, you have to get comfortable on camera. You actually have to be posting YouTube videos, and you've got to be able to spend a lot of time with your audience. So the more videos you put out there, then the more time you're going to be able to spend with them. So you need to build that trust. And this approach really lends itself to that, because you're speaking authentically to the camera. People can see that it's just your real self. You're not putting on a performance. You're not overly scripted. And that can be the right strategy for some people. But for a lot of people, it's not. I don't particularly like approaching YouTube like that. So this is just me sharing my thoughts. And you can just, this is what I'd be like in person pretty much. So actually getting videos out there consistently means your audience can actually spend time with you. And it builds momentum, and you can improve the videos over time. So that is really, really valuable. But what are the downsides? So the considerations with this strategy is that ultimately your video quality is probably not going to be as high as if you just spent lots of time on your channel. So number one rule with YouTube in general is the more time that you spend on it, the more time you spend on your channel, the faster you'll grow. So obviously, if you spend just 1 hour versus you spend 30 hours, are you going to grow as fast? You're just not. So it's not actually the best approach if you want to grow as fast as possible. But if you want to get videos out there, it's a legit approach. It's definitely something that's going to help you just build momentum and actually get moving. But as a blanket rule, the more time you spend on your channel, the more it will grow and the more results you'll see. So with that in mind, it might not be the best approach. But then also, something to think about here is only doing it in an hour forces you to make a certain kind of video where you're not using a script, where you're just speaking naturally to the camera. And that might not be the kind of video that you want to make. It also might not be the right strategy for your audience and for your channel in your niche. So an example that I'll share here is April Alter. Maybe you've seen her channel. April is also in a similar space to me. So she makes videos about YouTube growth and growing a YouTube channel. Now she makes videos that take about a month to make. She spends hours and hours researching and then scripting. She edits lots of the videos herself. So she's like involved in the editing process, and her videos are super high production. They're just really well crafted and really well made. And she does great. She performs really, really well on her channel. and she gets thousands of views. But that's just not the kind of video that I want to make. So I've kind of assessed the YouTube space. What kind of videos do I want to make? What is there an opportunity for? And I'm trying to fill that gap. Whereas April Lynn has taken a different strategy, and she wouldn't make a video in just an hour. She could if she wanted to, and it could be like an interesting experiment on her channel just to speak more authentically to her audience. And maybe it'd be a good one-off video, but it's not going to be her overall strategy. She wants to make videos that are super high quality, that are more high production than pretty much anything else in that space. And that could be the right strategy for you. That could be the better approach for your niche. So here's the thing. You need to do some research, understand your space, understand your niche, figure out what's missing, and then also, what do you want to make? So what's the overlap between what do the audience want and what do you want to make? That's all it comes down to. So that's the answer to whether this is the right strategy for you. And I can't tell you personally what you should be doing. You have to figure it out. Now, the problem here with just having an hour a week and only making videos means you're not going to make any money because you can't rely on AdSense alone. So if you want to know how to build a proper business around your educational YouTube channel, then you want to check out this video here where I walk through how to do it step by step.